Good afternoon. The time is now 4:38 p.m. And welcome to the June 25th, 2025 Climate Change Action Plan Ad Hoc Committee meeting. I am Pamela Boozer-Struther, Committee Chair and District 3 Board of Education member. It brings me great pleasure to welcome everyone to today's meeting, and I look forward to our work together. For those unable to observe now, the meeting is being recorded and can be accessed on the PGCPS YouTube channel for later viewing. The agenda and documents can be found on PGCPS Board Docs, linked from the Board of Education homepage. I thank you all for committing to this important oversight and partnership work. Ms. McMillan, please call the roll.
Ms. Boozer-Struther,
Present.
Donald Bell,
Present.
Kate Wunderlich,
Present.
Giazi Gomez, Joseph Jakuta,
Present.
Christina Kwok, Timothy Meyer, Dorothy Morrison,
Present.
David Noto,
Present.
Beth Novick, Ramon Palencia Calvo, Benjamin Roush, Antoine Thompson, James Dubon Garcia, Maya Gudera,
Present.
Olivia Thomas, Sophia Villar, Mikal Witherspoon.
Present.
There are 8 members present.
Board member, I think you're on mute.
Thank you. With 8 counted, we will go, that is quorum, and we will move forward. Before we move forward, we've had the committee members introduced through their taking of the roll, but I would like to have our additional guests who are with us go ahead and introduce themselves before we move to the next part of the agenda. And we could start with David Miller.
Thank you very much. My name is David Miller. I'm the Director of Engineering with the Low Impact Development Center, and here to speak with you today as part of the Clean Water Partnership with CIS about the treating and teaching program that's going on at the schools.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Sonia Williams. I am the program manager at Corvius Infrastructure Solutions, a partner in the Clean Water Partnership, and I'm happy to be here.
Good
Thank
evening,
you, Sonia.
everyone. My name is Kendra Bierman. I'm the Director of Education and Outreach with the Anacostia Watershed Society, and also joining you all this evening to speak about the Treating and Teaching program in partnership with the Clean Water Partnership.
Welcome. And Mr. Roberson?
Good evening, James Robertson, Prince George's County Public Schools. I'm an instructional specialist for environmental literacy at the Schmidt Center.
All right, welcome. We will now move to 1.3, adoption of the meeting agenda. If there are no objections, the committee shall adopt the June 25th, 2025 meeting agenda. All right, there being no objections, the June 25th, 2025 meeting agenda is adopted. Moving to 1.4, approval of the meeting minutes. If there are no corrections, the committee shall approve the April 23rd, 2025 meeting minutes as distributed. All All right, not seeing any hands raised for corrections. There being no corrections, the April 23rd, 2025 meeting minutes are approved. 2.0 presentations. There are 6 items for discussion this evening. Each item is allotted approximately 20 minutes. After each item, we will limit each member's questions and feedback to 2.5 minutes per round. Unless a motion is taken for additional rounds, there will be 2 rounds per agenda item. Item 2.1, Director of Sustainability Report, and the Chair recognizes Director Morrison for the Sustainability Report. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dorothy Morrison, Director for the Office of Sustainability and Resiliency at Prince George's County Public Schools. My report tonight is going to be very brief. With regards to, the presentation is not up. Let me just go ahead and put that up. I wasn't sure if can everyone see it? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So, so with regards to funding, obviously for implementation of CCAP, I apologize, my air conditioner just went off. But with regards to funding, we are obviously still challenged because loss of the federal partners. However, like I mentioned during the last meeting, we continue to seek alternate funding, primarily from the state of Maryland and some other philanthropic organizations, as well as in-kind partnerships, such as partnerships with the Department of Environment at the county level and other nonprofits. So DSR has been in consultation with the implementation team. So the implementation team is a group of about 30+ members who have come together to address the different priority items in the CCAP and work group members as well. And so we are looking at, given the funding situation, at the timelines to see if we need to modify some of the timelines that were outlined in the CCAP. So more to come on that. We will have a separate presentation on that at a later date. Just wanted to give you also some updates on the grant applications that we've been pursuing over the past, I would say 3 months or so. And so with the MEA, which stands for Maryland Energy Administration, Decarbonizing School Grant Program, happy to report that we were awarded $143,000. And we are going to use those funds to continue to gather our energy data so we can have a database which can serve as a benchmark for us to observe, track, and analyze our energy use. So, and we will be starting from a baseline of FY22 to date. So we're very happy to receive that, and we'll use that towards consultant funds. Also, we applied for an MEA electric school bus, and we, again, happy to say we were awarded $2.5 million in grant funds to purchase up to 8 electric school buses. So mind you, this is a shared, it's not going to pay for all 8 buses, but we have to contribute something, but it's going to go a long way in helping us achieve those 8 additional school buses. With regards to the solar grant program, again, MEA, we're very grateful to MEA. We were awarded $396,000 in March, or I'm sorry, well, we were awarded in March, but we didn't get the commitment letter till June the 20th. So we are also working with a consultant to pursue the IRA tax credits. And IRA is the Inflation Reduction Act from the previous administration. So those are still in effect. We have done the preliminary analysis, and we are anticipating between $3 to $5 million in tax rebates. So we're very excited. We don't have it yet. The deadline is November, but we're hoping to have that. So that's a very significant amount of money, which will then be reinvested into projects that would benefit the school system. And we are also, just an FYI, we are applying for the 2025 Metropolitan Council of Government Climate and Energy Leadership recognition. While there are no funds associated with this, if we were to win, we will be considered as leaders in the field, which I think you all can agree to is well deserved. So we'll see what happens. The deadline is June the 30th. So more to come on that. Hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed that we do get that recognition. Okay, so curriculum, training, and partnerships. Just wanted to let folks know that we are working with the CTE program, and they have developed a tracking tool. Now, we're not going to go into details about the tracking tool. I know Donald and James are in the meeting, so if you all have questions, they might be able to elaborate on it, but I'm going to just try to click on it, so hopefully it works. So you get an opportunity to see what it looks like. So here we are. We have the track. It just tells you like the audits that were obviously done. We have the bottom tabs here that talks about progression year over year, action steps, CTE operation items. So that's as far as I'm going to go with that. I'm not going to go too much into detail. Let me just move this out of the way. Okay. Okay. So thank you, Donald and James, for helping to coordinate that. See, resilient food production on PGCPS land. The reason I wanted to mention this here is I think that, you know, it's a very, very innovative and meaningful initiative. We were sort of approached by, I believe it was Langley Park Civic Association, to use one of the school sites as a community garden or a forest, a food forest, for example. So I think that that's a great idea. It's an opportunity for the community to actually benefit from our land. And with that, we are hoping to, we anticipate other potential partners will be contacting the school. So I did meet with Associate Superintendent Washington, and we figured we were going to formalize this whole process so that it becomes, you know, if we can promote the whole idea of having food forests and community gardens. So more to come on that, but I wanted folks to know that this is in line with what the CCAP talks about, you know, using our land for the community to engage in food sovereignty activities. So, and these are some of the partners, PGCPS, obviously. We have the Prince George's County Audubon Society will also be a partner for this particular project. Waste reduction. If you all recall, during the last meeting, we had a very engaging conversation about food waste and the use of plastics. And as a result of that, we were able to, under the leadership of Director Kirkland and some other partners, to sort of terminate the use of plastic bags in Kenmore Middle School. And of course, the goal is to terminate the use in all schools during the breakfast program. So those are the brief updates. And just gonna talk about, today we're going to do a deep dive into the priority area 7, which is climate resilient land management. So with that, board member Rosa Struthers, do you want me to introduce the presenter for that now, or do you want me to get that back to you? Or
yeah, well, thank you so much for those updates. Of course, it's very exciting to see the grants and the reimbursements, and also, of course, the waste reduction plastic bags after the hard work of our student member team. So if there are any questions at this time of the director's report, please raise your Zoom hand and we could take any questions, immediate questions. I see Mr. Robertson and Joseph Jakuda. Can begin with those two.
All right, I'll start. Thank you. One comment and one question. The tracking tool that Ms. Morrison shared, that is not just for CTE, that's for all of academic programs. And that is something that Priority One's been working on. in the spring and going into the summer. CT is certainly part of that. My question for Ms. Morrison is about the first item you brought up, the MEA grant, and where you're going to monitor energy usage in our buildings. Is there a way for the data that comes from that to be shared with students?
Yes, and I think that is part of the plan right now. As you know, we have about 200 schools, and we're working on migrating that data for all 200 schools. CCAP is our vendor. We're migrating that to something called Portfolio Manager. Now, this is just an FYI. There's been rumors that Portfolio Manager may not be around anymore. We're keeping our fingers crossed that that is not the case. But obviously, anytime we can gather data and show trends, that's a teachable moment, right? It's an opportunity to teach the students. So we will have dashboards, not in every school now, obviously, because of budget reasons, but some representative or pilot schools will have those dashboards to sort of show how energy is being used.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question? Okay.
Mr. Jakuda?
First, I want to say I'm excited to see that you guys are submitting an application for the COG Leadership Award. I was very excited to write a letter in support. I hope others get an opportunity to as well. I definitely think it's been a long time coming, hopefully. I had two questions. One, I was wondering if and how the new interim superintendent has been briefed on the efforts that are underway, and if there's an opportunity for also this work group to share what's been happening with them as well. That's the first.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and answer that
Go ahead.
because that's board process. That process has not completed, so it's a little too soon to
right.
address that question.
Okay. And the second question was, I know you often share all of these updates through reports that are produced twice a year, and I was just curious if the end of the school year report on all the progress on the climate action plan will be posted in the near future.
Yeah, definitely. As a matter of fact, that has been completed. We've gotten all the input from all the priority areas, but we have to route it through communications. They have to obviously proofread it and make it ready for the general public. So that's the stage that we're in, is the editing part. Oops, the editing part of things. So yeah, but it will be available sometime in July.
Okay.
That's the target, yeah.
Thank you so much. Great work
And
as always. I'm glad you guys are continuing along this.
Right, I was going to say too, it's going to be available on the website, so you should be able to access it there. But more than happy to send it to anyone who wants to send me an email. I can always just kind of also send it by email as well.
All right, great. Thank you both so much. Not seeing any more hands, we'll move to item 2.3, the Climate Change Action Plan Priority Number 7, Case Study Number 1. Oh, I'm sorry. We are starting with the Priority 7 report. My apologies. 2.2, presentation of updates on the Climate Change Action Plan Priority Number 7, commit to climate resilient land management. So I'll once again recognize Director Morrison for this presentation. Thanks.
Thank you, board member. And I would like to recognize Ms. Christina Garcia-Starling, program manager with the Department of Sustainability and Resiliency. And Ms. Starling will be facilitating or acting as a moderator as all the different case studies are presented. So with that, I'm going to recognize Ms. Christina Starling. Go ahead, Christina.
Thank you. Good afternoon, distinguished members of the CCAP Ad Hoc Committee, guests and presenters. I'm really excited to see a lot of faces that it's just been in by email. So thank you and welcome. Again, my name is Christina Garcia-Starling. I am a program manager at the Department of Sustainability and Resilience, working mainly on priority 5, 6, and 7, climate resilient land management. I'm going to go ahead, Dorothy, and share my screen if that's okay.
Definitely. I should stop sharing. Let me just take that off.
Oh, okay. So, Okay, let's see. So to share.
I just stopped did a stop, so you should go to do it now. Yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
So, are you guys seeing my screen yet? No.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, you can see my screen. Oh, okay. Let's see everyone here still. Perfect. So we are going to be discussing priority 7 and looking at some of the successes up to now. So we will highlight, as I mentioned, our successes. Our focus today per our agenda is as follows. Our introduction, focus overview on priority 7, case study number 1, which will be by Clean Water Partnership, case study number 2, briefly by District Heights Elementary School Initiatives, case study number 3, Cesar Chavez Immersion Elementary School Project, some additional priority 7 updates, and CCAP members managing expectations and fostering collaboration. So I believe we may not have someone directly from District Heights, but we'll incorporate it with our here today, but we'll incorporate it with our additional priorities. So as I mentioned, today is I have the pleasure to introduce several of our partners working in the priority 7 climate resilient land management with great success. First, discussing some of their work is Clean Water Partnership, Mr. David Miller, Sonia Williams, and Kendra Bierman. We're excited to hear more of your work, followed by some of this District Heights highlights. And our third case study today is presented by Ad Hoc Board Committee member, Ms. Kate Wunderlich, on the Cesar Chavez Immersion School Project. So again, as many of you know, the CCAP was approved and adopted on April 22nd, 2022. Since then, it has been established as a requirement and incorporated in PGCPS policies. So what does that entail? There are several operational recommendations and mitigation recommendations that we have been supporting and taking the lead with and with different departments collaborating. This includes conduct a system-wide landscape inventory and develop a plan for green infrastructure and sustainable landscape management asset at every school, establish a system-wide project database with tracking and monitoring for all green infrastructure, incorporate stormwater management activities into school curriculum to enhance climate science literacy and support a culture of environmental stewardship, and streamline the review process for green infrastructure projects. The mitigation recommendation as part of our goals include plant more trees at each school and across the school system, plant native plants, and create conservative landscapes for stormwater and multiple benefits, increase the number of schools-based green infrastructure projects, transition athletic field surfaces to natural turfs. I think there's a storm going on out there right now, so I'm hearing the the thunder. So yeah, so as we move forward, I just want you to hear some of these great story, it's just projects going on and how they are aligning with these goals, especially that according to the CCAP 2021 survey, respondents express a strong interest in climate goals tied to green stormwater management, advocating for bioretention, porous paving, tree planting, native plants, and outdoor classroom. So to start this presentation, I'm going to pass it to Mr. David Miller. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina. Actually, Sonia's gonna start off our presentation, so I'll hand it right over to her.
Perfect.
Thank you, David. And I'm so happy to be here. And I'm proud of all the work and how far this committee has come since Board Member Boozer Struthers started it many years ago. So I'm very proud of the work that has has been accomplished. As mentioned, I am Sonia Williams with Corvius Infrastructure Solutions, better known as CIS, and we are in a partnership with the county. We're actually the first community-based public-private partnership focused on stormwater infrastructure in the county. Next slide, please. As mentioned, we are a community-based public-private partnership focused on green stormwater infrastructure. We entered into this arrangement with the county to meet the U.S. Department of Environmental Protection Agency's requirement set forth for the county. Next slide. In 2015, Prince George's County entered into this partnership with Corvius and coined the program the Clean Water Partnership. The partnership was designed to meet the requirements, and we have been in operation for 10 years. And we're happy to and excited to share how much that we've accomplished over those years. The community-based public-private partnership, we're the public side of this public-private partnership, but what's most important is the community part of this. We support the growth of small businesses within the community, but we also support growing the educational side of the community, and we focus on building classrooms, outdoor classrooms that support students learning more about green infrastructure, about how it works, what they can do to support the community, improving the climate in the community. And also we use it as an introduction to the field of environment through plantings, design, management, and things like that. So we focus on the community. The focus on the community is a large part of our program. Next slide. Our treating and teaching program, you can go to the next slide, is one of our community-based portions of our program. We started the treating and teaching program in 2016 in Parkdale, where we basically have partnered with organizations such as the Low Impact Development Center and the Anacostia Watershed Society to help us support this program. Next slide. These are just some of the pictures of some of our locations in the school system. Our treating and teaching program, there are two parts to it. One, it's the facility that actually cleans water and filters water, and the other side of it, it's the outdoor classroom. Next slide. Since starting in 2016, we actually have 62 schools that have a green infrastructure device at the school. And those devices have touched over 40,000 students. Currently, this year, we have about 7 BMP devices in design and ready for construction this year. Next slide. This is an example of our treating and teaching classroom. You see that we have some seating areas and areas where teachers can actually provide more information, and Kendra will talk more about the curriculum for our program. Next slide. Of the 62 locations where we have a device, we have about 39 of those schools have actual outdoor classrooms. Our goal for this coming year is to increase the number of classrooms so that we can close the gap between the 62 locations with BMPs and the 39 locations that have outdoor classrooms. We have 7 classrooms actually going into construction this summer, and 9 classrooms that are actually starting design. So we're really trying to close the gap between the classrooms and the ones with just BMPs. Next slide. I'm going to turn it over to Kendra so she can talk about our environmental educational program. Kendra?
Great. Thank you so much, Sonia. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kendra Bierman, and I'm going to be sharing a little bit more of the educational side of our program. Next slide, please. The work that we do on the curricular side of this program is meant to bridge the gap between some sort of device or classroom being installed in our schoolyard spaces and the teachers and students' ability to actually engage with those spaces. So the work that we do is focused on increasing understanding of what stormwater runoff is and the impacts of it, the threats that it poses to our local waterways, also to train teachers in using the outdoor classrooms that are being installed in the school spaces, as well as ensuring that students have increased opportunity to build environmental literacy skills and knowledge in our larger goals of ensuring that every student in Prince George's County has these opportunities in the environmental space. Next slide, please. So for our teacher professional development, every year we provide what we call our Stormwater 101 kickoff session. This is an opportunity where we bring educators from across the district together, whether that be from schools that just joined the program or schools that have been a part of the program for many years. And our different partners collaborate in providing a training focused on how to use an outdoor classroom, what is stormwater, what are the impacts of this program, and and different resources that the educators can then bring back to their classroom spaces. Beyond that sort of initial training, we do offer additional teacher professional development sessions in the classroom spaces once they are built. MAO, the Maryland Association for Environmental and Outdoor Education, is one of our partners in this work, and they lead specialized outdoor classroom trainings on site once these outdoor classrooms are constructed. Next slide, please. In addition, we also ensure to engage the students in this work. So my team at the Anacostia Watershed Society goes out to our schools that are brought into the program, and we provide introduction classes with these students focused on what a BMP is, how their BMPs on their schoolyard work, and again, baseline information about watershed health and stormwater mitigation, as well as a brief introduction to the outdoor classroom space that will soon be built at their school. So students get some hands-on opportunities in the classroom space to start to build that understanding of what's going to be happening in their schoolyard. Next slide, please. We also provide field opportunities for students. So we collaborate with the PGCPS team who puts together the Student Environmental Alliance Summit. Every year we support in a few different ways, whether that be by purchasing specialized equipment and supplies that the students are able to use during the day of the summit, such as this really cool bike that we were able to purchase last year, where the students were able to pedal and do things like charge their cell phones and learn about different energy efficiency methods. And in addition to our support of this day, we also provide field trip opportunities for students. So either through the Anacostia Watershed Society or through our other education partners, such as the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, we provide about 60 field trips per year. So we are pulling bus funds as well as covering field trip fees for these opportunities to get students out in the field and build these skills in environmental literacy, climate literacy, as well as stormwater content. Next slide, please. Great. And then the sort of the last element of this program is providing ongoing support in the classroom space. So we continue to work with the teachers that are part of this program, and we provide additional resources that they could use in their classroom throughout the year to continue to build on the content and the resources that we began with in our intro classes. So we provide what we call Go Green grants. These are open grant opportunities that teachers can apply for to basically get additional funding to do things like plant gardens in their schoolyard spaces or get different supplies such as this EnviroScape model that you can see here on the screen. Next slide, please. And overall, we've really seen this program grow really from last school year into this school year. You can see we've really doubled, if not more than that, for our numbers across the screen. And we're really excited to continue to see this growth in the coming years as well. Thank you so much. I'm now going to turn things over to David to talk more about the green infrastructure side of things and the built environment.
Thank you so much, Kendra and Sonia. And before we get into our case study that we've brought for today, I just wanted to highlight a few things going on with the program. So as Sonia said, we started in 2016 with Parkland High School, and it was really a pilot project. How can we bring this amazing green infrastructure and stormwater quality work that we're doing to the schools and to the students, and with an outdoor learning space for them to experience some of this and have a different way to look at learning. And under Sonia's leadership in the last year or so, we've really been able to kind of move this program past those early stages, and we're doing some really interesting things, bringing demonstration BMPs. We're incorporating as much as we can what Kendra and Mayo are doing with their work into the classroom, into the design. And as you'll see with Chillum Elementary School, not just putting a device out there in a classroom, really trying to look at the school situations and see what can we do with this program to help the school and make it an asset to the community. Next slide, please. So this case study is about Chillum Elementary School. This school is currently in design, and we're coordinating with stakeholders. We're at about the 30 to 60% design phase. So we've just moved past the concept, and they're working on fleshing out the full design. The big challenge from a resiliency point of view at this school is that the school is experiencing flooding during storm events. So there's and you'll see in the picture, there are some basement classrooms, and when it rains hard, water's getting in, and the students and the teachers are unable to use some of those classrooms. And that is because our site condition, which is there's this degraded asphalt area that used to be a blacktop for the kids. I think they may have had basketball courts at one time. It's not really used anymore, and it's kind of channeling or funneling the stormwater runoff towards the building foundation. So, we do have some challenges, but we really have an amazing opportunity here. We can install some stormwater features to help manage that runoff and reduce the flooding. We can create an outdoor classroom or learning space out of this unused blacktop area for hands-on learning. And we're able to leverage this project and the program to help solve some flooding issues that are impacting classrooms and students and staff. So these are the existing site conditions. I put some arrows since it's a little hard to see the topography from the aerial view. There's a big hill over there. All the water in a big storm runs down the hill into the grassy area, and then it kind of funnels its way across that blacktop right into and against the school building. I think if you click one more time, something should pop up. So what are we planning to do? We're going to upgrade that area. We're going to help push that water around and away from the building and put in a stormwater BMP. Next slide, please. So this is the concept from, so we're working with an engineering firm and our firm as well to do the classroom and to the BMP. So CPJ, Robin Barnhart from CPJ is managing this project. So this is their concept on how they're going to move the water. And I think if you click again, it'll highlight a few things. So what's going on here? We're going to be collecting water from the roof leaders and the blacktop and treating that water in this BMP. And then we're going to cut a swale in the back, and that's going to be planted. And that's going to, in a really big storm, move that quantity of water that's above and beyond what you would treat in a small BMP and connect it to the existing storm drain system. So we're going to be able to move that water away from the building. So hopefully those classrooms don't have any issues. And as well, when we're doing this project, we're going to change the grading a little bit. So the water should run away from the building and not towards the building. And here is a bubble diagram kind of concept of what the outdoor learning space and the facility are going to look like. So I'll just run through this really quickly. Hopefully you can see the numbers. So number one is kind of showing we have a little bit of a fenced-in area. We're discussing with the school whether they're going to have gates or if it's going to be open. And this is for younger students or maybe students with some special needs, so that they're, not just kind of taken off and leaving the area. There's some subject-specific elements, and this is something we work on with the schools. Do you need a weather vane? Are we going to have some interactive tactile feel, learning through play elements or things of that nature? We have a flexi-pave pathway. Flexi-pave is kind of a soft surface, so it's not hard like concrete, but it's going to give them a nice area that's not hard to maintain and full of grass and weeds like it has now. And a few other things I'll point out, we're adding tree planting in the area. There's a demonstration rain garden and a rain barrel and permeable pavement in the learning space area. So that can be learned about in curriculum. Students can see what is permeable pavement, what is a rain barrel, and get to use it. And then if you see around the right side, we have a planted area with our swale and then the microbiome retention facility, which is very close to the classroom. It'll have a nice sign explaining, what it is and what it's doing for the students to learn. Yeah, so that's really kind of our case study, and I'm sure we're all happy to take any questions on all of the stuff that we talked about.
Thank you, David, for that, and thank you, Kendra. As you can see, this is a full process from design through the educational process. During the design process, David mentioned that we engage the students that are presently in the building, exposing them to the design process, getting their input, and making sure that they're a part of this process. Once this classroom is built, we have the programs that Kendra and her team have supported teachers in incorporating this into their environmental educational curriculum. And with the field trips, they're able to get some hands-on experience with this program. Because this is a community-based public-private partnership, our local small businesses like CPJ, they have an opportunity to work with us on these programs, and we support small businesses to grow with this program, leaving some economic development in Prince George's County. And so we are very excited about this program, and we're looking to continue to grow and expand the program, not only in the number of schools that are included in the program, but also in looking at ways that we can incorporate our urban tree program. So I'm excited to hear about the gardens that are being talked about in the school system. We'd love to talk more about that. But we're also looking to expand the program in features and activities. So this Treat and Teach program, we're looking to touch every student that is being educated in Prince George's County. So our current focus for our next round of schools that we bring on into the cohort, we're looking at the high schools so that every student that leaves Prince George's County Public Schools has been exposed to the Treat and Teach program and have had an opportunity to learn about where they can fit in the change in the climates. So thank you so much. And so we're open for questions. Next slide, please.
Yes,
We are
thank you. So, Chairwoman Pamela Buzzard-Struthers, if you like, we can take some questions now and continue
Okay.
with the full presentation.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll go ahead and I see Kate's hand is up, so I'll go ahead and then when she concludes, followed by James.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for the presentation, and this case study's so interesting and very close to my heart, as I'm working in Cesar Chavez on a very similar effort. So a couple questions. Number one, do you have any specific deliverables from your curriculum standpoint on how, like a guide and how for teachers and for students. So that's the first question. And the second one is, how much did this cost to build, from design to build, or will it cost? And how much did PGCPS pay for, or others besides the Clean Water Partnership?
Well, I will let Kendra talk about the curriculum side, but as far as the budget it goes, the Department of the Environment actually supports this program through our state revolving fund, because this project is actually functioning as a green infrastructure project. The BMP side functions as a green infrastructure project. We're able to fund it through the state revolving fund. Prince George's County does not support it financially at all. What we ask Prince George's County Public Schools to do is to allow their teachers to participate in a few programs so that they can learn more about how to incorporate this in their curriculum. And so I will pass it on to Kendra to give more detail about that.
Yeah, happy to. So yes, we have, certain curricular points that we're hitting throughout our program. And the curriculum development of this program is a living, breathing thing. From year to year, we're trying to, build it, expand it. Right now, we have a really strong connection in the high school space, specifically in the 9th grade biogeochemical systems course, in that they do have a subunit focused on watersheds and stormwater and all of the sorts of things that we are focused on in this program as well. So that sort of as an example of one way we've been able to really build in close connection to curriculum within the school district. And we're working to continue to build that across the middle school and elementary spaces as well, in as close and a consistent way as possible with what's being taught in the classroom space already.
Thank you. I'd be interested in hearing the overall cost at some point, just to compare to how much we paid for ours. Just FYI.
Yeah, our costs, it includes the design, the construction, and actually 30 years of maintenance. So we are not able to do a comparison, but I can share with you offline some additional information, and we can go into it in detail.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna jump in.
Yep.
I want to say just thank you to the Clean Water Partnership in general. This program has really increased the outreach for environmental literacy in the school system, and whether that's with implementing or bringing in an outdoor classroom or the teacher professional development with AWS. I've been with treating and teaching since the beginning, and I've just seen the excitement with our teachers, with our students, with the administration in the schools. This is such a great program, and it's win-win all the way around. And I just wanted to, put that out there and say thank you, and feel really fortunate that there's a long-term vision for this. And I do feel like we're kind of on, 3.0 version. And it's because everybody is learning lessons as we go through and always wanting to make improvements, streamline things, and do what's best for teachers and students. So thank you, Ms. Williams, Kendra, David. It's very much appreciated. And last but not least, I do want to just chime in on the curriculum side of things. So definitely Kendra and I are having conversations. I'm on the PGCPS side. We are providing lessons. We are providing resources for teachers around stormwater. And so when we're doing those trainings, we want to make sure that they have those resources. And we've modeled what we would like to see back in the classroom. So that does exist. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And, we appreciate the input that you provide through our stakeholders group. and others in Prince George's County, because in Prince George's County Public Schools, it's important that we hear from those that are in it as deeply as you are, in order for us to make sure the curriculum continues to match what is current and we remain current. And the support of the others that are on the stakeholders committee, our goal is to make sure that what we're doing is viable for today, but also viable for tomorrow to support our students. So thank you for your support and help throughout this process.
All right, well, thank you all so much for that excellent presentation. And as we move forward, of course, your team is welcome to stay. And in fact, I think the presentation from Kate Wunderlich on Cesar Chavez dual Spanish immersion, what's happening there is definitely, learning opportunity for both organizations. And those two schools happen to be 1.2 miles apart. So they are dealing in that same geographic area of the county. So I think your case study was really relevant to this entire group of presentations today. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Christina, and I'll just officially introduce 2.4 Climate Change Action Plan Priority Number 7, Case Study Number 2, District Heights Elementary School Green Team, and 2.5 Climate Change Action Plan Priority Number 7, Case Study Number 3, Cesar Chavez Dual Spanish Immersion Elementary School, Wildcat Way Outdoor Classroom. So those two can go back to back.
Thank you so much. We're actually going to go straight to Kate Wunderlich with Cesar Chavez. I'm going to incorporate the District Heights with some of the additional updates that we have for Priority 7 after she speaks, after her presentation. I know school is out, and some members didn't seem to make it from District Heights today. They did send us some images and photos of what they're trying to do and send us an update. But I'm not sure. I know invitations were sent. So Ms. Wunderlich, all yours.
Hi, thank you. So my name's Kate. I am a parent at Cesar Chavez with an incoming second and sixth grader, outgoing fifth grader at Cesar Chavez. Should I be sharing the slides, or do you want to share them? Christina? I'll share them. I'll just go ahead. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay. So we started this effort back in 2021 when my child was in kindergarten, and I kind of piggybacked off of efforts that were already happening. I just want to highlight first that we do have a lot of alignment to priority recommendation number 7, a couple operational actions, as well as 3 mitigation actions. And we'll talk a little bit about how that alignment happens later on. So Wildcat Way is an outdoor classroom that is an evolution of effort. So in 2021, we worked with the Neighborhood Design Center to do a concept plan for the campus. And this is 6.3 acres. We have a pretty large space at Cesar Chavez. We are not in the queue for new school construction or any sort of reconstruction or anything like that. So we wanted to work with the Neighborhood Design Center to figure out how we could transform the school into a more of green infrastructure and green space, and promoting the connection to nature and so on. So after we worked with the Neighborhood Design Center, we got a great concept plan for the whole campus. They said, go get $35,000 and you guys can start doing this. And so we did some grant writing and some grant funding, and we ended up getting a grant for another design process that was more specific to where we wanted to really develop the outdoor learning space. And so I don't know if you see, so this is our school right here. This is Riggs Road over here. Sligo Creek is right over here. Right here is where the outdoor space is going to be, that in that little L, the nook. And so it's really, it's kind of hidden behind everything. Out here is like a field, and there's some parking lots and stuff. So we really wanted to use this unused space that was close to the school to develop the area. So that has transformed into, we went through a community engagement session with Nature Sacred, which is the nonprofit that we've worked with. They gave us all the support for our design process, our technical design, and hired EnviroCollab, which is a landscape architect firm in Baltimore, to work with us. And together we all started, we created a steering committee. We engaged community, teachers, students, PGCPS staff. Board member Boozer Struther was on our steering committee, and we worked towards creating a design that would meet our goals. And a couple of the challenges were, we had our stormwater management was not great. There was a lot of areas where it was there was runoff from the communities, similar to Chillum. There was the current infrastructure, like the drains and the bioretention pond that was there, were not really doing what they needed to do in order to help with the stormwater management. And then also we were coming out of the pandemic, or we were, and honestly, yeah, we were coming out of the pandemic. It was like 2022. And we really wanted a space outside where we could gather as a community and connect. And we wanted to do that in a green space where the kids could learn, teachers could have a place that was a calming place for them, that gave them additional opportunities for learning. And so that was really why we wanted to do the outdoor classroom. So after we worked with the Nature Sacred, we identified additional needs for funding. And then we had to go out and find more money. So it started out as like 30 or 35,000. We got a grant that covered probably about $60,000 worth of design. And then, so we still didn't have any money for construction. We went out and looked for more with Pamela Boozer Struther's connections and another community member named Barbara Miller, who's a leader in this community. We connected to the NED grant, the National Capital Economic Development Grant and Fund, and we partnered with a Community Development Corporation, Hyattsville CDC, to be our fiscal sponsor and go after that money. And we were awarded $145,000 in 2022. And which was awesome. We were like, oh my gosh, we have so much money now. And the PTO was donating, well, we raised $10,000, and then Nature Sacred was putting in another $50,000 for construction. So we had $205,000 to build this outdoor space. And as we kept as the rubber met the road in the technical design, we realized we still didn't have enough money. So we had to de-scope a little bit. And that was a huge lesson learned for me. I'm pretty naive to this type of work and what it would take and what I needed to know and how I needed to partner with folks. So that was certainly a lesson learned on our end. And it always got more expensive, took more time, and was way more complicated. And so we had to make a decision with our community and with our staff whether we wanted to use that money to do all the permitting for the area, and then just a little bit of money for construction, or we wanted to get under 5,000 square feet of disturbance in order to not have to pay for all those additional permits and then have more to build and have more tangible learning opportunities for the students faster. And we decided to do the latter with a community vote and staff input. And so along the way, the students did an Earth Day project. They designed their own outdoor classroom. That's when Wildcat Way was named. It was named by the 5th grade class in 2023. And then we started working on the permitting process. So I'm skipping a couple of these important slides, but I'm not going to read all of this, but we recognize the benefits of outdoor learning, and we really wanted to be able to have the students connect to nature in a way that deepened their understanding and learning retention for their environment, and encourage them to be active and have a reflective space, a calming space, a place for the principal and the staff to take someone if they needed to, like, really just have a calming moment for a second. And so all of this was the what we were seeing as the benefits for building a project like this. So here's a little information about Wildcat Way. It is in the Sligo Creek sub-watershed. Our school has a capacity for about 480 students, but currently it has about 360. We're a K-5 class. We have a 50-50 Spanish-English learning model. The outdoor classroom is going to consist of like paths and seating areas, plants and meadows. And it's going to have 3 different outdoor learning spaces. One is going to be a more formal space with a cement ground, and then 2 informal spaces with wood, like reclaimed wood benches and boulders, and also using the retaining wall that we have to build to support stormwater management. It's going to have school gardens with 6 metal planters and picnic tables and a mobile whiteboard and composting bins. And we just did a call for artists to have a local artist provide art for our interpretive signs. And we're going to have some educational signs within the area. And then with the sponsorship of Nature Sacred, we're going to have an area that's a reflective space that then it will be a Nature Sacred bench with a journal inside, and it will have a trellis over it. So that's going to be great as well. Wildcat Way will have this long concrete path that connects existing infrastructure, and then we're going to have a bunch of stone dust paths replacing existing asphalt and a retaining wall. We're also going to have 9 native canopy trees, 12 ornamental trees, and meadows of perennials and shrubs and other plantings like that. So it took a huge team to do this. And while the Board of Education is officially the landowner on the deed, the project owner is really the PTO, and then us working with the school, the staff, and leadership. But we did sign an MOU with Hyattsville CDC and PGCPS that said the PTO was really the one responsible for this project. As I mentioned before, Hyattsville CDC became our fiscal sponsor with that NED grant. We had a lot of supporters to help get us that funding. And you can see some of the major grants we received that I already talked about. It's about $205,000, and we probably need a little bit more because our bids just came in and it's over budget. But I'll talk about that in a second. We do have a big technical team that includes landscape architects, the Community Development Corporation, their board members, Nature Sacred, site design engineers, and then PGCPS staff. One of Ingo Davies was on our steering committee, and it was important for us to make sure that he was a part of this process and we heard his concerns. as well as get his support for the project. So I've talked a little bit about the pathway for this outdoor classroom. I won't go over anything I've already highlighted, but I will say that this has taken way longer than I thought it would. But me being naive and a novice in this area, and really the permitting process has been pretty arduous for us. And one of the reasons for that was because a new bill was passed in PG County that was going to align to state law, but that state law never got passed. It was called CB 20, and it eliminated exemptions on any land disturbance, regardless of type and size. So, you know, there's zero woodland, existing woodland on our property, but this law, when they passed it, made it a requirement that 15% of our entire land size, which is about 1.24 acres, would have to be covered in trees in order for us to move forward. And that just isn't a feasible thing. There's already other things on that property. And so we needed an exemption, and other projects did as well. So they passed CB 77, which was an amendment introduced by MNC PPC in the county to deal with those unintended consequences. And then they had to develop administrative procedures that were needed to deal with the examples that were already previously developed sites and unwooded properties. So that took about a year of our process to figure out. And we just got our natural resources inventory equivalency letter, which is essentially our exemption. And then the woodland conservation plan exemption we've gotten. We are waiting on our stormwater management exemption, but that we think is coming imminently. And then our mandatory referral, which is a requirement of state law on all projects related to public land, is in process. They have 60 days to review, and we're hoping it takes them much less than 60 days. And we have someone following that process. So once all of that happens, we'll get to apply for a building permit and then start construction. So that's all to say that the how has been pretty long and complicated, but we're towards the tail end. We're hoping that we get to do construction sometime this summer and finish by early fall, if not late summer. And then we will be able to make it operational. So someone was saying something. Do I need to hurry up?
Yes, if we well no if we could yeah, for purposes of time and
Okay.
you know, a few more minutes, but thank you.
Yeah, so I won't list out the best practices and lessons learned. There's been a lot of them, but certainly making sure that you're leveraging connections in order to find funding opportunities and partner with technical folks was very important. Board member Boozer Souther was key in that, and not underestimating the time required and the funding required to execute the plan. And then my major takeaway from all of this is that I don't think this is a process that can be replicated like how we did it. I think it's very rare that we could get you know, the parent community to come together and find over $200,000 of funding to do this, and have the time and the technical know-how to see it through. So it does seem like new construction is the best way to get green infrastructure happening across the county, but certainly trying to leverage the climate curriculum in other areas, and doing low-cost hands-on learning elements to support the CCAP implementation as possible. And Mount Rainier Elementary is a great example of that. And then finally, I'll just say, and from a curriculum standpoint, we did reach out to the Schmidt Center early and talked to Yana, she has mapped environmental literacy elements to the elementary school standards, and so the teachers have access to that. We are also working with Defensores de la Cuenca to build a student ambassador program with the students that started this year with fifth graders. So the students take the lead on guiding tours of the outdoor classroom, knowing what we're doing, what we developed, why we developed it, where the native trees are, how we know what they are, plants, stormwater management, watershed importance and restoration. All of that will be included in the ambassador program that we'll have a guide for, and students will lead that, which we're really excited about. So that's all I'll say for now, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. We could take one question and move so that we can finalize the presentation, and then take additional more questions if we have a few minutes left. Chairwoman?
Yeah, we certainly can circle back to more questions. We can move forward with the data and then have more discussion time. Are there any questions right now? Anyone want to raise their hand now?
Yes, if someone.
I see Sonia Williams.
I don't have a question. I just want to congratulate Kate on this work. Being a former PTA mom, I know it takes a lot to do all of what you did. And so I just wanted to congratulate you on how far you've come.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been fun. Luckily I have 2 kids to see this process through for a while, but there's the big thing is making sure that it's useful and sustainable. So appreciate that and all the work you do.
Yeah, thank you, Sonia. And I'll just say as well just how impressed I've been with this work and the learning. I know that sometimes as parents, we wonder why things can't get done more quickly. And your team and your experience has really documented, what it's like to be a PGCPS staff member in all the divisions, getting permits, and really provides that case study that both to the great appreciation of everyone who's involved in this type of work, as well as the possibility of a great accomplishment when we collaborate and work together and support each other. So I think it's an amazing case study, and I certainly look forward to supporting this all the way through to the point where you consider it completion. So thank you. And then I'll give this back to Christina to keep us going with our agenda items.
Thank you. Thank you. It's pretty amazing just to hear these case studies and the work and the challenges and the successes, because overall just being able to put that effort and that collaboration, the PTO especially leading that, I mean, it's pretty amazing. Just that effort behind. So to add to some of these successes and challenges, where this is an image of some tree planting by Casey Trees, along with some of and just, in alignment to some of the operational recommendations and mitigation recommendations. So in November of 2024, this year, the biggest school planting in years by Casey Trees with 38 trees also included outdoor classroom design. Unfortunately, due to some federal funding uncertainty, Casey Tree is no longer conducting site visits for PGCPS for this year, since these plantings were funded by urban forestry grants through the U.S. Forest Service. So they're currently seeking alternative grants so that Casey Trees can resume operations at an adjusted scales, as several schools have expressed interest. So we see, the successes and also just the challenges, even from just hearing some of these case studies. Again, these are some of the students involved in the tree planting. And then they were able to do another tree planting again with the support of building services. Casey Trees provided the final Lewisdale map of 26 trees planted of 30 different tree species at Benjamin Foulois. So it's pretty amazing, all the different trees they were able to plant at this facility. So the work is ongoing and definitely the effort there. Given that there has to be a lot of approvals with Miss Utility and the lines and where the trees will be planted. So that's just an update on some of the tree planting. In terms of some of the work that District Heights is doing, I've made pretty much as a green initiative. They've been trying to do this work for the last year and trying to get grants. This is the area that they're going to be gardening. Still, I think they just got approved for some grant funding this week, or this is the week that they were going to start implementing some of this project. So they were going to discuss a little bit of those challenges. That's what there was going to be a little bit more presented. Just to, see the successes and also the challenges in getting some of these projects underway. But they did get some grant funding, and this is one of their upcoming projects. So that's just briefly what I could say for District Heights. And thankfully, we do have James Roberson and Donald Bell here. And, as you mentioned with the curriculum, there's been a lot of effort in this area also as we collaborate with the different departments here. And this comes from Donald Bell and his team, Mr. Dr. Suk Dale. And currently their stormwater management is an important component of the biogeochemical systems curriculum. The instructional focus aligned with NGSS standard and which is guiding students to define and analyze global environmental challenges while considering societal needs and viable solutions. They have created several modules within which they have several lessons, as it is illustrated here. For instance, a Unit 1, Module B, has the following outline. Lesson 1, point and non-point sources of stormwater. Lesson 2, understanding land cover and stormwater management through simulation. Here's an image, of pollution source, and they have different activities related to that. And they also have designed a Unit 3 Module A of the biogeochemical system curriculum focused on stormwater management through muscle-based solutions. And as you can see, they have students learning about measurement and error analysis, mussels as bioindicators with different experimental designs. So that's across curriculum, how stormwater management is being highlighted and emphasized. This is also our CCAP dashboard status in terms of some of what we discussed earlier, some of the goals, the operational goals. So the PGCPS communications completed the dashboard in 2023, which in 2024 was modified to segment the data according to the priorities. And here are some images of what you can see, and you can go onto DSR, Department of Sustainability and Resilience website on PGCPS and be able to go through some of this data. It's limited updates, and they're slow to come because they're mostly linked with capital programs and some of the school constructions. And as we've heard here, there's some, there could be some delays with permitting and some of the construction process, but they are aligned with what's going on. So that's part of the dashboard status. Then just in managing expectations and fostering collaboration, the CCAP was implemented before the Department of Sustainability and Resilience started. So a lot of the lead agencies were either building services or CIP. And we've continued to collaborate with all of them, just housing everything pretty much under the Department of Sustainability, having bi-monthly meetings to include all CCAP stakeholders so that we can, inform the progress and identify ways to continue supporting their work to reduce our carbon footprint. So, and gathering the information. So that's where we're at with priority 7 today. Thank you so much for all those that have contributed to highlight their efforts and their work in priority 7. And I pass it on to you. And any questions, Pamela Buzastrathers, we're open to that now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the additional information and the additional information about District Heights. Are there any questions on this entire presentation before we move to review of the work plan? I do see Director Morrison has her hand up.
Thank you, board member. I was just curious, Christine, you'd mentioned that District Heights has received funding. I was just curious, did they share what their funding source was or not?
No, we didn't capture that information. They did mention they were going to be available to attend from both the principal and some of the green coordinators. So unfortunately, we didn't receive any updates since this afternoon that someone was going to be present this evening. So
yeah, that's fine. We can follow up. I was just curious in this era of like unavailable funds, it'd be kind of nice to know who is stepping up to provide that support.
James?
Yeah, I just wanted to put out there, everything that I heard, or almost everything I heard, aligns with the Maryland Green School program. And for those that don't know, we have the most Maryland Green Schools in the state. And so really what you all are doing, like I said, aligns really well and supports student learning and student action. We saw that in the photos with the Casey Tree Project. So thank you for what you're doing, and make sure those schools are capturing that information.
Thank you. All right, well, we will move to item 2.6, the school year 25-26 committee work plan. And the chair of each of the board standing and ad hoc committees is charged with bringing a plan forward at the end of this year to be ready for the beginning of meetings again in August. The board has a 6-week break. And so this is a discussion item. We'll receive feedback, and then I will ultimately, probably by tomorrow, have a plan submitted to the full board. So I'm going to give this back to Director Morrison, because as we start our plans with the administration bringing a draft plan to the committees. So thank you, Director Morrison, for next steps here.
Or, yeah, so as board member Buzastrathers stated, this work plan is a proposed work plan. And so what we've done here is just sort of itemized the different priority areas and when we will do a deeper dive into it. Now, it's open for, I'm not sure if, board member Buzastrathers wants us to do that now, but we thought it would be helpful for members of this committee to be a part of this process. If there's anything that they would like to, is that, Sheila, are you projecting? Are you able to project? I should ask.
I'm not
I
sure
just realized-
because I cannot get my camera or my back mic
Okay.
to load.
Okay, so let me see. I know Sheila has been working diligently on the work plan and was going to, let me just see if I am able to pull it
The
up.
plan is in board docs. If someone wants to share their screen from board docs of
Okay,
Director Morrison or Christina, if you're able to do that, if you're in there.
Yeah.
let's see.
Okay, one moment. Let me just grab the. No. Let's see. Okay. That's a board doc. Okay.
back here.
So, let's see.
Let me see if I can beat you to it. Okay,
Yeah,
I think I beat you to it,
There we go.
Christina.
awesome.
So
Thank
there it is.
you.
No worries. So, so here we have them. Essentially priority area 1, 4, 5, 7. We meet bi-monthly. So, here it is. So there's a couple. So Sheila, if you don't mind, I could yield. Are you able to see what's on the screen?
So I can see.
Okay. So if folks, I'm looking at the time, if folks want to hear some examples of some of the things we talked about that we might potentially discuss during these various priority areas, that's where I'm going to yield to Sheila to go into a deeper dive. But Board Member Buza-Struthers, do we have time for like maybe 2 minutes in depth, or do we want to just...
We do still have time for this meeting, so yes, I think it would be great for Sheila to explain more behind, these short titles. I think I had a preview, so I think it's pretty exciting.
Right.
So I think it would be great if you review. Thanks.
Okay, go ahead, Sheila. I'll
Okay,
yield.
great. Okay, great. So first of all, apologies for not having my background not work. It's just some technical difficulties. But anyway, so also keeping in mind this, just want to preface that this is just a draft, and trying to touch all of the priorities throughout the course of a year. Finding a slot for the August presentation was difficult, so we actually were thinking of having priority 1 go first, because it's been the longest gap between their last update. And it can be massaged in any way based off of what James and Donald would prefer, but the thought was just to provide the ad hoc committee update on the 24-25 year, and then also any type of program initiatives new to be introduced for the upcoming school year. Again, that can be massaged of what works best for them. And then for the October meeting, we were thinking of having priority 4 discussed and highlighted, where we could provide an update on the Mulliken bus lot, which is a very exciting microgrid project to use to charge our electric buses, up to 50 of them. So we're hoping that there'll be enough of an update that would be exciting for everyone, but then also to update where we are in the existing electric buses, how many we've taken delivery of, and how many more yet to come based off of the grant funding they just received, which I believe was 8 or 9. Combined also on that day could be priority 3, where we could have Jamie Alston or someone from DSR provide an update on these 6 schools who are getting rooftop solar installed this summer. So fingers crossed that everything goes off without a hitch and we can have a great update to provide by October. The December meeting, we were thinking of having Sarah provide an update on all of the wonderful data that she'll have by then, hopefully, fingers crossed, on the composting program for this school year and the recycling data for this school year. So that would be 5 and 6, that would be on that one. And then February would be priority 7, because obviously we're doing priority 7 now, but at the rate that we're going and the wonderful updates that we had tonight, I know we'll have more to share by then. And then finally, in April, we were thinking about doing a 1-year update on when we last met with Director Kirkland to provide us updates on how things are going based off of the report that she provided us. And then also maybe to get a little bit more information on the problem to practice and plastic bags that we had students participate in, along with any meal tasting case studies that was also mentioned, if there's any updates at that point. That way she has a year to kind of get us she has a great baseline at that point. Then finally, but again, all of this can be moved around. Hopefully, not hopefully, it will be. By then, I really want to showcase what benchmarking looks like, our baseline that we're going to have at that point, hopefully very soon. But that's been a little bit of that's another conversation. But to provide to you what benchmarking is, what does it look like, and how we're going to utilize that data to make those data-driven decisions, collaborating with capital programs, collaborating with the P3 schools on how to, and also tying it in with what the educational facility needs are. So I'm hoping that would be a really exciting one. It's what I'm extremely passionate about to share with you guys. And then priority 8, Board Member Boozer Strother, I think we originally had that tandemed with priority 1, so we could slip that in since this year's work plan, we didn't really get to touch on that. So it's up to the committee members what they want to do and where to put that.
Yeah, thank you, Sheila. And for those of you who have not met Sheila before, Sheila is the second program manager at DSR, and she is leading the efforts on priority area 2, which is building carbon footprint reduction. Sheila does have a background in energy management. So I believe she gave a presentation, not the last meeting, but maybe the meeting before. She provided an update. So thank you very much for that, Sheila. And that concludes our presentation. And so we'll leave it open if anyone has questions or input on the draft work plan as presented.
Great, thank you so much. Any feedback, any concerns about timing for those of you this work touches?
I have a question about timing. For priority 1 in August, do you have a date? Do we have a date yet? Because it's people trying to slip in last minute vacations.
Yeah, it's
August
usually
27th.
the third
Okay. Yeah.
Wednesday of the month. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Perfect.
Great.
School's in session, so we should all be back.
And I think that would be fine to add priority 8 to the August, that we could pick one of the elements of priority 8, which is the lead by example. I think we could probably pick a conference or other opportunity that we've had to influence, which we did quite a bit of last year. And so I think we'll have plenty for this August.
That's exactly what I was thinking, is showing how we've inspired, other LEAs and agencies to replicate what we're doing, basically. So I love that idea.
Anyone else before we conclude this agenda item? All right, well, not seeing any more hands, we are now at 3.0 adjournment. And this is our final school meeting of the school year. And I want to thank you all for your hard work this year and continued engagement. I, want to, encourage everyone to, really own the work of this committee and utilize the recordings and the case studies and the documents and, promoting this great work through your own channels as parents and staff and community leaders in this work. It's always great to show off this work beyond, those who might catch our meeting or watch the YouTube video. So help us continue to promote your great work. The chair informs the public that the next virtual climate change action plan ad hoc committee meeting will be held on August 27th, 2025 at 4:30 p.m. And please continue to check the PGCPS board webpage for more information and updates. And thank you all very much to everyone who presented this evening and to all the meaningful discussions. And on behalf of the Climate Change Action Plan Ad Hoc Committee, have a great summer break. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good one.